season is here, and it can be a bumpy ride. Whether your destination is maximizing your refund or minimizing what's owed, it sure would be nice to swerve those tax time stressors and enjoy the ride. School's First Federal Credit Union is here to steer us in the right direction to help make tax season go as smoothly as possible. Here with tips is Tamara Thomas, Fruit Ridge Branch Manager for School's First Federal Credit Union. Hello, Tamara.
Hello, Desiree.
Tamara, it's tax season.
Oof.
People are very aware of that.
Yes.
They need to file, but what do people need to think about before filing this year?
So first, I just want to start off, I'm not a tax professional. I have a lot of really good advice when it comes to taxes, but if you have any questions specific to your tax situation, make sure that you seek out the advice of a professional. But I think some important things for us to know as consumers: April 15th is our due date, right? Monday, April 15th this year. Make sure that you are filing by that time. So that's, I think, one of the most important things to remember. There's also understanding your filing status. There are 5 different statuses that you can file under, all of which are more than just a statement, right? They're not a formality. They actually have implications for your deductions, your credits, things like that. So it's important you understand which category you fall into so that you're filing appropriately. Again, a tax professional will help you with that if you need help kind of knowing where you fall.
Yeah, but kind of good to think about these things ahead of time.
Yes, definitely.
So what are those often overlooked details that could use a double check before we hit that file button?
It's really important to make sure all of your contact information is up to date, and it seems like a no-brainer, right? But if you use the same software that you use every year, if you go see the same, accountant or whoever does your taxes, they have your information saved. So make sure, do you have a name change? Have you gotten married or divorced, or have you moved? All of that information is really important to make sure that you update it.
Yeah, making sure you're not kind of speeding through, because to your point, if it's like auto put in there already, you're like, yeah, sure, but
it's like, next,
yeah,
this is good,
just give me to the money.
Yes.
But you want to make sure you get the money.
That's right, absolutely.
And any tips for managing all of the necessary documents that we'll need to file?
Yes, so we get a lot of documents kind of towards the end of the year, and they all come at different times. So you have to create a system, whether that's a file folder where you keep all of your tax documents as they come in, so you have them where when you need them.
Yeah.
Also, one thing that I like to do is I scan mine into a folder on my computer, because I email my professional all of the documents that she needs. So coming up with a system that keeps all of your documents in one place is going to be ultimately important, so that you're not kind of waiting until the last minute to find those documents.
To see if you have them.
That's
you got
right.
it ready to go.
That's right, yes.
Okay, so I mean, when it comes to filing, there's the due date, April 15th. But if life gets too busy and that date's right around the corner, what do you suggest?
Let me tell you, life does get busy, and this is one of those things that can definitely kind of fall to the back of your brain with everything else you have going on. So if that falls, if you fall into that category, you can file an extension. There is a form on the IRS website. I think it's 4898 is the number. You can file for an extension. It's a 6-month extension, which will make it so that your filing isn't due until October. I always tell people one thing to remember, though: if you do owe money, that does not extend when you have to pay that. So there may be penalties or fees or interest that accrues if you end up owing. So it's a great solution if you're not going to be able to make the deadline, and it's also free to file for, but there may be some penalties to just be aware of.
Okay, that's why we're talking about it now.
That's right.
So you can avoid it, hopefully.
I know. We only have a little over a month.
Yes,
so,
which is crazy, because when it's January, we start getting the stuff in the papers, but it's you gotta hop on it.
Yep.
Are there any things any must-know updates or changes that we should keep in mind before filing this year?
Yeah, there were some things that went into effect this year to pay attention to. So if you bought a car in 2023, there are some credits that you may be, there's the Inflation Act of 2022, I believe is what it's called. You may be eligible for some credits there if you purchased a clean vehicle, electric vehicles, things like that. So make sure that you're checking the IRS website and seeing, are there credits that apply to you? Also, if you updated your home and kind of did a refresh on your energy systems, right? Solar panels, or did you get different appliances, things like that, you may be able to qualify for credit. So those change so frequently that it's really important that you really educate yourself, see what credits are out there, especially if you do your taxes on your own. Make sure that you're taking advantage of all the credits that there are. Yeah,
I mean, I didn't know that there were some credits to being a little energy efficient.
Yes, yes.
Any final tips for us, Tamara, for our viewers before filing?
Like we talked about, it's right around the corner. I know it's over a month away, but it may be one of those things that sneaks up on you. Make sure we're not waiting until the last minute. So take a deep breath, start getting all your stuff together. Right now is the time to ask any questions that you may have before it's actually time to file. So It'll be okay. There are people that can help you. It can feel really overwhelming, but the sooner you start, the better.
Yeah, and great tips you're providing us. And to our viewers, make sure you talk to your tax professional to get everything all buttoned up. Tamara, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Desiree.
Of course. And you can visit one of the many Schools First Federal Credit Union branch locations as seen on the screen. And you can find out more online by going to schoolsfirstfcu.org.